Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
That relentless pressure, that sense of juggling too many things, maybe the physical toll it takes, tight muscles, restless nights,
Mm,
stress. It feels like almost a default setting for modern life, something everyone encounters, a constant unwelcome guest.
absolutely. It's pervasive.
And for this deep dive, you've brought us a source that takes a head-on look at this pervasive feeling. Excerpts from Benjamin Bonetti's book, How to Stress Less. Simple ways to stop worrying and take control of your future.
That's the one. It's quite direct in its approach.
So our mission today is to really dig into what Bonetti lays out. What does he say stress really is?
Yeah, what it isn't.
Right. Why does it seem like the volume is always turned up on it these days?
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, what practical insights, what tools, what actual steps does the book offer to move from just experiencing stress to actively managing it?
Exactly. It's not just about understanding the problem. It's finding a system, like you said, that works for you, something actionable.
Okay, so where do we even begin to get a handle on something that feels so overwhelming, so real?
Well, the book kicks off with a statement that really makes you pause. It says, "We know what stress does, but we do not know what stress is."
Huh. That line feels almost deliberately provocative, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
we do feel the effects, the physical, the mental impact.
We absolutely do. But Bonetti's key point immediately follows that. He says, stress is a way we think, not the way we are.
Okay, hold on. A way we think, not the way we are.
Yeah, this is really fundamental to his whole approach. It shifts the focus. Stress isn't some inherent part of you, something you are. It's a response you generate internally, a pattern of thought.
A way we think.
That's a significant perspective shift. It implies agency, doesn't it? That it's not just happening to us.
It does. But our bodies absolutely feel it. That's undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
The book describes that very real physiological response.
Ugh.
The classic fight or flight.
Right, the adrenaline surge. Increased heart rate, faster breathing, blood diverting to muscles, the release of cortisol. That's a primal, built-in biological system we all share.
It is, and it's essential. It's there for survival, right?
Exactly. The complexity and where individual stress responses really diverge is in our threshold.
Thresholds.
Yeah. The book points out that things like genetics, our overall health, even our background and education, they all influence how sensitive our system is to triggering that response.
Ah, okay. So what one person's system flags as a major stressor might not even register for another.
Precisely. It's not just the external pressure, it's our internal wiring and how we interpret it that determines the stress reaction.
Got it. The book lists some common signs, doesn't it, associated with what it calls an adopted stress state.
It does. These physical and emotional markers that show you're living with chronic stress. Things like a general feeling of lethargy,
Yeah, I know that one.
that tight muscle tension, often in the head or shoulders, feeling vaguely unwell, being irritable or snappy, struggling with focus.
Or just that overall sense of feeling a bit lost or adrift.
Exactly. And the book is careful to note that experiencing one or more of these is actually quite normal at times.
Right. It's not about blame.
Not at all. The point isn't to feel bad about having felt this way, but to recognize them as signals and to see that the path forward is about actively working towards betterment.
Betterment. Right. Which brings us to what feels like the core, maybe even the most challenging message of this source. The idea that stress is ultimately about choice.
That's central.
The book frames self-realization as the first step, and the discomfort, even the pain, of realizing that change is a choice you haven't yet made that can be a powerful trigger to finally move forward.
This is where Bonetti really places the power back with the individual. He's saying, look, once you become aware of your stress state and the factors contributing to it,
Yeah.
the decision to stay trapped in those patterns or to actively choose a different path that's yours, it's not just a passive state you're stuck in. It's influenced by your ongoing choices and responses.
He uses some really helpful analogies, too, to illustrate how this builds up over time. He talks about stress loading.
Right, like the game Buckaroo, or imagining a car's fuel tank.
Exactly. Each little pressure point, each unresolved issue, each negative thought is like incrementally adding weights to the donkey.
Or making withdrawals from your fuel tank, your capacity to cope.
Yeah. And eventually, when that tank is empty and pressures keep coming, boom, you hit stress shock or a full-blown panic state.
And on the flip side, the positive side, he introduces the concept of stress credits.
Stress credits. like a bank account.
Sort of. Think of your body having an account for stress tolerance. The book suggests lifestyle choices managing nutrition, fitness, even seeking positive experiences. Those are ways to make deposits into that account. Euphoric states, he calls them.
Okay, and stressors make withdrawals.
Exactly. Stress states make withdrawals. The goal is simple, but requires conscious effort. Ensure you're making more deposits than withdrawals.
But you can't start making deposits strategically until you know what's causing the withdrawals, right?
You got it. You have to identify your specific triggers first.
Identifying your triggers, that's key. Because when you're smack in the middle of a stressful event, the book points out how negativity can just totally consume your thinking.
Oh, absolutely. You get that feeling of being unable to see the wood for the trees, completely losing perspective.
Yeah. And regaining that clear perspective, changing your mind state in that moment.
Yeah.
The book emphasizes that's a practice.
It is. It's not automatic. But with practice, you learn that many events that feel overwhelming right now will, in the grand scheme, pale into insignificance.
That notion of perspective takes real work, though, doesn't it?
It really does.
Another important point the book makes, which pushes back against a common belief, is debunking the idea that experiencing stress is a sign of weakness.
Yes, that's crucial. It calls it a natural event, even a way of modern life.
So it's not about not feeling stress.
No, the book is very clear. Everyone experiences stress. It's part of the human condition, especially in our, fast-paced world. The fundamental difference, Bonetti argues, between those who are crushed by its effects and those who manage it is choice.
Choice again. So if stress is natural, why does it feel like it's increasing so dramatically in modern living?
Well, the book points to several societal factors: rising obesity rates, debt, widespread illness, a general deterioration of overall health, things putting pressure on the system.
Those are the external pressures, sure.
Mm.
But the book also suggests some individuals might be more predisposed or open to stress.
Yeah, due to past experiences or learned patterns of thinking that get kind of imprinted in their neurology.
Oh.
But the good news here, and it's important, is the book's assertion that what can be learned can be unlearned.
What can be learned can be unlearned. That provides a lot of hope, actually. Framing stress patterns not as fixed destiny, but as habits we can change.
Exactly. It's about plasticity. The book does list specific groups identified as potentially more vulnerable to the effects of stress, though.
Like who?
Older adults, women, particularly working mothers. It mentions those who are widowed or divorced, individuals with less education, the unemployed, lonely or isolated people, those facing discrimination, and interestingly, city dwellers.
City dwellers.
Oh.
Okay. And a really powerful, though maybe a bit abstract concept the book introduces is letting go of the now.
Right. This was interesting. It's about confronting the reality that we have very little actual control over the past.
Yeah.
It's done.
And a future hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. The book uses the simple example of reading text. As you read a word, boom, it instantly becomes the past.
Right.
Your only true control is over the next choice you make in the present moment, however fleeting that present is. So after a difficult moment, the option you have is regret, dwelling on the past.
Or letting go.
Or letting go and focusing on what you do now.
Regret or letting go. That simplifies things dramatically, highlighting the power of the present choice.
It does. And this ties directly into how we see ourselves, our internal representation or core identity.
How so?
The book argues that this self-perception fundamentally triggers our beliefs about what we can handle, what we're capable of. It influences how we interact with the world and other people.
Absolutely. Your internal narrative about yourself sets the stage for how you'll react when faced with challenges.
For sure. And the book lists many common external events that get labeled as stressors: housing problems, finances, relationships, career issues, loss, illness, theft.
Even seemingly positive events like holidays or children leaving home can be stressful.
Oh, holidays can definitely be stressful. But the book makes a really crucial distinction here, one that gets right to the heart of that stress is how we think idea.
Which is?
It says the interpretation of these events matters far more than the external label itself.
Oh, okay. So it's not the event, it's the meaning we give it.
Yes. This is perhaps one of the most actionable insights. It uses finance as an example, calling it an easy blamer.
Right. We point to debt and say, that's my stress.
But the book posits that it's often not the external financial situation itself that causes the crushing stress, but the emotions we've attached to the ownership of money or our individual interpretation of communication around finances.
So the debt is the label, but the stress comes from thinking I'm a failure because I have debt, or interpreting a budget discussion as, like, a personal attack.
Precisely. It's the meaning we assign to the event. And the book's point is that if you're stuck in that negative interpretation, the solution isn't just changing the external situation, which might be hard or slow.
It's changing the interpretation.
Often, yes. Breaking the negative pattern of interpretation and changing your approach to the feeling and meaning you attach to it.
And the book offers a very direct tool for attempting to change emotions instantly, which feels, well, challenging but intriguing affirmations.
Right. It suggests a specific structure like, I am state the negative feeling about that, but now I am not.
But now I am not. Interesting.
The idea is to consciously use language to try and interrupt that negative emotional pattern right then and there.
Okay. Moving on, the book touches on the mind-body connection, an ancient concept.
Very much so. It notes how Western thought often separated these, while Eastern traditions have long seen them as integrated.
And science is catching up.
Crucially, yes. It points out that modern scientific research is increasingly confirming this deep link, essentially reinforcing the idea of mind over matter.
This connection is vital because it shows why managing your thoughts and mindset isn't just, psychological fluff.
It has real physiological consequences.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it leads into the discussion of positive psychology.
Which isn't about ignoring problems.
Not at all. It's about actively focusing on promoting mental health and making normal life more fulfilling. Shifting the focus from just treating illness to building well-being.
That aligns perfectly with the statistic the book pulls from the World Database of Happiness.
Oh yeah, the 10-90 split.
Only about 10% of our happiness is linked to the external world and circumstances, while a massive 90% comes from our internal world.
Right. External success, the big house, the fancy car, they often don't deliver the internal happiness we expect them to.
And a huge part of cultivating that positive internal world is mindset. The book clearly distinguishes between a fixed mindset.
The belief that your abilities and situations are set, unchangeable, stuck.
Versus a growth mindset.
Which is the belief in your potential to learn, improve, and overcome challenges through effort. That things can change.
And a growth mindset is presented as pretty essential for making any of these changes stick.
Absolutely. The book gives a practical tip. Listen for that fixed mindset voice in your head saying things like, I can't handle this, or this is impossible.
Yeah.
Consciously talk back to it with a growth mindset response, like, what if I can handle this? Or what if I succeed? What would that look like? Challenge it.
It's an active internal dialogue. The book also gives a simple framework for reframing stressful situations, using what it calls the 3 Ps. Pause and perspective.
Right. First, pause. Just stop. Ask yourself.
Right.
Does this situation always create stress for me? If not, why is it doing so now? Can I choose a different response this time? And if it does always create stress, the book suggests trying to flip it. What positive lesson or outcome could come from this challenge?
Finding the silver lining, kinda.
Kind of, yeah. And then perspective. Grade the stress on a personal scale, say 1 to 10.
Right.
Often when you take a step back and remove the immediate emotional intensity, what felt like a 9 or 10 might actually be, a 2 or 3 in the context of your whole life, once you detach those added emotions.
So having understood the internal nature of stress and the power of mindset, the book moves into the practical realm, lifestyle, fitness, and nutrition.
It does, and it includes a bit of a critique of modern society, suggesting we've become more of a masking society than a resolution society, particularly when it comes to addressing stress and mental health.
Masking. Like quick fixes.
Yeah, there's a sense that we often reach for quick fixes, a pill, a temporary distraction, rather than doing the deeper work to resolve the underlying issues. This aligns with the book's emphasis on fundamental internal changes and lifestyle adjustments.
Got it. One practical lifestyle element the book focuses on is simply starting your day differently.
Ah, yes, the morning routine. A rushed, chaotic, or negative start can set a cascade effect, basically training your mind to look for negatives all day.
Makes sense.
Bonetti uses the powerful example of an elite athlete who visualizes not just the perfect race,
But also prepares for things going wrong.
exactly. They mentally prepare and visualize handling potential problems, like being drawn in the outside lane. It's about controlling your emotional response to the unexpected or the bad start.
And affirmations, mentioned earlier, could be a tool here too.
Yep. Consciously replacing that initial negative thought, oh, Monday, with a positive choice for how the day will unfold.
The book shares some pretty sobering statistics from the APA about common stress effects.
Yeah, difficulty sleeping, anger, fatigue, lack of motivation, sadness, Physical symptoms like headaches, crying, indigestion. It's a long list.
And it also lists common but really unhelpful coping strategies.
Right. Things like making poor food choices, overeating or skipping meals, excessive napping, or that impulse retail therapy.
All highlighting just how physically and emotionally damaging chronic stress is and how we often turn to behaviors that ultimately make it worse.
It's a vicious cycle sometimes. The book also brings in the impact of your general outlook, optimism versus pessimism.
How does that connect?
It links it directly to stress management. It references a cortisol saliva study.
Cortisol again?
Yeah, it found pessimists had a lower stress threshold and a harder time bringing their stress hormones back down after a challenge compared to optimists.
Wow, so that half-empty or half-full idea has a measurable biological effect.
Seems like it. Your attitude literally impacts your internal stress chemistry.
Okay, now let's talk about the biggest practical hurdle the book tackles: exercise. The classic excuse.
I don't have time.
Exactly. The book pushes back hard on that, doesn't it?
It does. It reframes it as a lack of inclination, not an actual lack of time.
And it grounds this in reality by pointing to health guidelines, often just 30 minutes of moderate exercise a day or 150 minutes a week.
Which can even be broken into 10-minute chunks. The argument is if the inclination is there, you can almost always find those 10 minutes somewhere.
And the book suggests the way to build that inclination is to truly understand the incredible benefits.
Right. It details both the proven physical benefits, significantly reduced risk of heart disease, lower blood pressure, improved cholesterol, reduced risk of several cancers, weight management.
Huge physical benefits. And just as importantly, the mental benefits, which are particularly relevant to stress.
Oh, definitely. Regular exercise is shown to prevent and treat mental health issues like depression and anxiety, often with similar success rates to medication or therapy, but without the side effects.
That's powerful.
It measurably lowers stress and anxiety levels, improves sleep quality, boosts self-esteem and confidence, increases feelings of happiness, and even potentially improves brain function. Thinking of those outcomes can definitely shift the inclination.
Absolutely. The book explains exercise intensity simply too.
Yeah, light means you can sing while doing it. Moderate, you can talk, but you're slightly breathless. And vigorous.
You can only gasp a few words.
Pretty much. It also mentions the RPE scale, a personal rating of perceived exertion, typically 1 to 10 or 6 to 20.
And it offers a very simple, low-barrier starting point.
Yeah.
The Bonetti Walk Challenge.
Right, just walk 800 meters, about half a mile, at a moderate intensity and time yourself, comparing it to provided age-gender charts.
It reinforces that practical wisdom.
Yeah.
The best exercise is any exercise you'll do. Just start somewhere.
Exactly. Start small, build momentum.
Okay, shifting gears now to what we put into our bodies. Nutrition. The book's mantra here is pretty blunt. You are what you eat.
It really frames food as fuel for both mind and body.
Bonetti shares his personal conclusion after studying nutrition. The more quality food you eat, the better your life will become.
Yeah, he echoes Hippocrates' "let food be thy medicine" and makes a direct link back to stress, suggesting it can be attributed, in part, to failing to provide our bodies and brains with the necessary nutrients they need to function optimally.
The book discusses the link between stress and weight gain too, right? Cortisol again?
Yep, highlighting how the stress hormone cortisol can particularly promote abdominal fat.
Fun.
Right. It mentions comfort eating triggers, noting women often turn to food due to family relationship stress, men due to work lack of control, and both due to financial worries.
And carbs, giving that temporary serotonin boost.
That feel-good hormone, yeah. He introduces his stress-free shopping list, SFSL, concept as a guide.
Oh, okay. What are the key principles?
Focusing on low GI foods for steady energy like bananas or berries rather than sugar spikes and crashes. Aiming for 10 a day fruits and vegetables with emphasis on variety and getting more bulk from vegetables than fruit sugar.
10 a day, wow.
It's a name. Then the crucial go raw principle. Avoid added sugar, highly processed foods, artificial sweeteners, and ingredients you can't pronounce.
Read the labels.
Definitely. Quality protein is highlighted with a suggested macronutrient split around 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% healthy fats. And healthy fats are particularly important, specifically omega-3, 6, and 9.
Why are they so important?
The book lists benefits like boosting immunity, decreasing inflammation, which is a growing area of stress research, regulating insulin, supporting brain function, and helping to reduce stress and depression.
Okay, healthy fats are key.
Very key. He briefly touches on neurotransmitters, the brain's chemical messengers. Adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine for the fight-flight high.
And GABA for calming.
Yeah, mentioned as calming, reversing that high. Serotonin is key for mood, well-being, sleep. The book points to brain foods like oily fish, seeds, eggs, walnuts as excellent sources of those helpful omega fats.
Supporting healthy brain chemistry.
Exactly. The book also lists specific vitamins and minerals vital for stress-busting nutrition. B vitamins, for example, are crucial for energy and nerve function. Magnesium and calcium play roles in muscle relaxation. Getting enough through diet is fundamental.
And then the flip side, the mood foods to avoid.
Ah, yes. This list includes the usual suspects: chocolate, sugary treats, caffeine, alcohol, nicotine.
Things people often reach for because of stress.
Right. The book argues that while they might offer perceived comfort in the moment, they ultimately worsen stress, anxiety, and disrupt sleep patterns. It's a short-term game for long-term pain, basically.
Bonetti encourages gradually removing stimulants, right? Sharing his own experience.
Yeah, he mentions eliminating dairy as an example of the body detoxing, which can be challenging. He notes caffeine dependency can begin at just 100 milligrams a day. That's like one strong coffee.
Doesn't take much.
No. The emphasis throughout the nutrition section is on nourishing your body with natural nutrients versus fueling it with chemically manufactured stress-inducing foods.
The book reframes the idea of eat what you want to.
It does. It means choosing the healthy options because you want the benefits, you want the energy, the clarity, the reduced stress, not because you feel restricted.
So it's about desire, not deprivation.
Exactly. He counters common excuses like healthy food being too expensive.
Fresh ingredients aren't always pricey. Simple homemade soup is cheap.
Right. Or being boring, experiment with herbs and spices. It's about fueling your body like a high-performance F1 car, not dumping in chip fat.
That F1 analogy really drives the point home. He also suggests go green with green smoothies.
Yeah, a mix of roughly 60% fruit, 40% veg. An easy way to pack in nutrients, listing fruits like blueberries, strawberries, and greens like kale, spinach, basil, highlighting their antioxidants.
Antioxidants fighting free radicals.
Exactly, those unstable molecules linked to inflammation and cellular stress.
And for those who feel like they can't cook, won't cook.
He offers simple tips. Fresh is best. Read labels, aim for few ingredients. Make your own convenience foods, quick recipes from scratch. Stock up on healthy fast food ingredients you can grab easily. And importantly,
Never shop hungry.
never shop hungry. He briefly mentions the USDA Go Slow Whoa system as a simple visual guide and encourages soup making as an accessible way to cook, listing superfoods for soup.
All these practical steps in nutrition and fitness. They're presented as conscious choices you make daily to build resilience and manage that stress credits account.
That's the idea. Conscious deposits.
Which leads us nicely to the tools section, tangible techniques for managing stress in the moment. Meditation, for example.
Right. The book works to debunk common myths, framing it simply as a widely practiced tool for resolving internal conflict, reducing stress, enhancing relaxation, gaining clarity. Not just for alternative lifestyles.
And while various types exist, the book focuses on guided meditation using visualization.
It does. It lists 4 ingredients: a comfortable place, focused thinking, controlled breathing and timing, and surroundings. Those surroundings are less critical than the others.
What are the steps for getting into state during guided meditation?
Pretty practical. Start by focusing on your breathing. Notice your chest rise and fall. Let muscles relax. Do a body scan, mentally moving from feet to head, noticing any tension and consciously releasing it. Use mental imagery like feeling the warmth of the sun or a gentle breeze to enhance the relaxation.
Sounds calming just hearing it. The book also provides simple, physical tools.
Yeah, like the greet the morning stretch, arms up, out, chest expansion designed to improve posture and facilitate deeper breathing. Simple but effective.
And deep breathing techniques.
Focusing on slow inhales and exhales, maybe to a count of 10. Emphasizing breathing into your abdomen, not just your chest. Belly breathing.
There's also centering.
Right. Placing one hand on your abdomen, one on your chest, feeling both expand and contract with deep breaths. The book suggests practicing breath holding and exhaling patterns, like holding for 1 count, exhaling for 3, or holding for 3, exhaling for 7.
To consciously regulate your system.
Exactly. The listed benefits are significant. More oxygen, improved concentration and energy, slower heart rate, enhanced relaxation, and better sleep.
These aren't just abstract concepts. They're concrete actions you can take with your body and breath to interrupt the stress response and create a different internal state.
That's the key, interrupting the pattern.
So, to bring it all together, the book's summary really reinforces the interconnectedness of three key areas for stress management and lasting change: lifestyle, fitness, and nutrition.
The three pillars, essentially.
The core idea is that coping with stress isn't some passive state. It's an active choice, part of your lifestyle.
Right. Maintaining your physical health through fitness provides significant benefits for your mental resilience and ability to handle stress.
And fueling your body and mind with needed nutrients through nutrition is essential for having the physical and mental energy required for optimum health and stress management.
The book suggests neglecting any of these areas will limit your success. It's about looking at your whole life system and making complementary changes that support each other. It's holistic.
The central message, though, building on everything we've discussed from the source, is that the power to change your reaction to stress really does lie within you.
Fundamentally, yes. It's about understanding stress as a choice, influenced by how you think and interpret things.
And then actively managing it by integrating conscious lifestyle adjustments, optimizing your nutrition, prioritizing fitness, and utilizing mind-body techniques like breathing and meditation.
It's a combination of mindset and action. The book includes those statistics about stress leading to conflicts, negatively impacting personal and work life, interfering with home life.
Yeah, the negative impacts are clear.
And then it ends with a pretty direct call to action. Don't be a statistic, stress less, and be happy.
Don't be a statistic.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, and especially that powerful idea that stress is a choice influenced by our thoughts and interpretations. What small step based on this deep dive could you take today? What one tiny deposit could you make into your stress account? Or in that next moment where you feel pressure rising, what conscious, different choice could you make in how you interpret or respond to it?
The power, as Bonetti's book underscores, is always in that very next choice you make, right now.